Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Wow. Despite that waffle, the cat is finally out of the bag. The government has revealed their plans for new grammar schools in England, but not in this House, Mr. Speaker. We didn't even hear the word grammar then, but through leaks to the press and at a private meeting of the members opposite. So much for the one nation government that we were promised. So will the Secretary of State promise today that future such announcements will be made here so that we can give the policy the scrutiny it so badly needs? And perhaps she can tell us the evidence base for it today. Has she read the IFS report entry into grammar schools in England? If so, perhaps she remembers the conclusion that among high achievers, those who are eligible for free school meals or live in poorer neighbourhoods are significantly less likely to go to grammar school. The OECD, the Sutton Trust and even the government's own social mobility czar and their chief inspector of schools have all cited the evidence against this policy. And in Kent, where we have grammar schools, the attainment gap is far wider than it is elsewhere. So can she tell the House what evidence she has to support her belief that grammar schools will help disadvantaged children and close the attainment gap? Mr. Speaker, at a time when our schools are facing a crisis in teacher recruitment and retention, with the thousands taught in super-sized classes and schools facing real-term cuts to their budget for the first time in nearly 2 decades, pushing ahead with grammar schools shows a dangerous misunderstanding of the real issues facing our schools. And can the Secretary of State tell us what she will be doing to address the real problems that are facing our schools today? The Prime Minister has said this policy is justified because we already have social selection. Quite how making things worse by bringing back grammar schools as a solution remains a mystery. Perhaps the Secretary of State can tell us why she's ensuring that all children don't get a decent education. This policy will not help social mobility, Mr. Speaker, but will entrench inequality and disadvantage. It will be the lucky few who can afford the tuition who will get ahead, and the disadvantage that will be left behind. A policy for the few at the expense of the many. Mr. Speaker, I was told that the Tories know the cost of everything and the value of nothing. I don't even think they know that anymore. Finally, Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister promised to lead a one-nation government. She said her policy would be led by the evidence, and she claimed that she would govern for the disadvantaged and not the privileged few. Yet this policy fails on every single count. It may be a new Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker, but the same old nasty Tories.